Good evening from Monaco. It's the end of Saturday, the end of day 2.5.
3, I think we're calling it.
Are we calling it day 3?
We are,
It's
yeah.
day 3, the end of day 3. Colin's voice, as you can hear when he starts talking, is not the best. As we said, he's not in any way ill. He's just lost his voice, which is not great for the voice of rally.
It did come back today.
It
But
did.
It's been up and it's been down.
Well, I think the trouble is you've just got so much to say through
Too
the
much
day.
to say.
Too
much to say.
We've got a lot to talk about tonight, so let's get on with it. We have to say, at the end of Saturday, another fabulous performance from Toyota. Sebastian Ogier leads by 16 seconds. Would we call it a small scare?
Well, final stage of the day, Carlo took 9 seconds out of him. Now, as Ogier said himself at the end of that stage, he had assessed the risk level in that stage. He'd assessed the jeopardy, and he decided that was the stage where he was going to throttle back, take it easy, give himself a margin. Did he expect to lose that much, though? I'm not so sure.
No.
But I don't think it's concerning him, but for sure, it's maybe a little closer than he would have liked. Makes it interesting.
He said, to be quite accurate, it's 4 seconds closer than he liked. He had in his mind 20-odd seconds. But for me, I tried to get it into my head that there was going to be this close fight, that it is that close. But he talked to Calais, nah. Talked to Jari-Matti, nah. Talked to Thierry, who's trying to get that 16 seconds back on Calais, nah. So it seems that 16 seconds is a bit of a watershed that nobody can beat that. And the fact is, we've seen year after year, Sebastian Ogier in the hills not far above here is sensational, isn't it?
Absolutely sensational. And what we have to remember about tomorrow's stages is they're so well known to all our drivers. And the point that Ogier made as well was that there's no cutting in those stages. So there isn't that, that risk of punctures, or the risk of punctures is reduced greatly. So, 16 seconds, it still might happen. We might find he spins, he might stall, he may pick up a puncture. We'll have to see. But I think we picked up a few words with Ogier at the end of the day. Should we have a listen?
We did. Let's have a listen.
Today was a different day, and it was a day where taking risk was rewarding because there was a lot of cut, and being in my position, I lost too many wins recently with punctures that I didn't wanted to lose that one, and I accepted to lose time, and that's okay. I could say maybe the target was to be around 20. Now it's 16 seconds. It's nothing to really start to worry about. Tomorrow it's about finishing the job. No cut anymore, so I just have to drive well tomorrow.
So Seb said it all there, didn't he? That's exactly what he's thinking. He's fairly confident. He knows where he's going tomorrow. Calais, of course, it's this...
Do we know where we're going tomorrow?
No, we've got no idea. But we've got Josie Rimmer with us, so we're pretty confident. She's been pretty hot on the maps.
Me.
She's been great on the maps. So that's rude, Josie, don't do that. It's a family show. Calais, he's in this position that he knows that he can almost let Sebastian Ogier win. And talking to the drivers further back, I spoke to Tanak tonight and said, an Ogier win is a bit of a result for those drivers who are a bit further back.
Yes,
Elvin the same,
absolutely.
because then nobody's taking the big points.
Yes.
Calais knows that. We put to Jari-Matti this, what we called the master plan of allowing Sebastian to win the event and then allowing Calais to take the power stage points. Jari-Matti clearly had been thinking about it, but he wasn't sold on it. But Calais done a great job. Looking at where he's been on this Monte in years gone by, he's come really strong.
I think he's done a super job. I think he's, he was in that close battle with Neuville, and it's really important. Okay, the points, as you say, they're not going to be big gaps because Ogier is going to take, by the looks of things, the biggest points. But psychologically, really important again for him to come here, Rovanperä, as the reigning champion, and he will go to Sweden in a few weeks' time ahead of Neuville, and that's really, really important. What may work against him, clearly, is his road position in Sweden. Should we be talking about that? Probably not yet, but that may go against him in Sweden. But I think Rovanperä has been excellent out there today. He really has.
We did speak to Calais. Let's have a few words from Calais.
It was much harder on the first 2 ones when it was a lot of cuts and quite dirty road. I felt that I couldn't really do what I wanted with the car, lacking a bit of grip on the cuts. Thierry was straight away much faster than our cars, so it was not so easy. But then on the last one, a bit less cuts, at least deep cuts and dark stage, so I tried to push to make a bit difference.
But it was, we touched on this at the top of the show there, Cole, it was a strong start from Thierry. He came out with those 2 fastest times straight after lunch.
Yeah.
He referenced the fact that he was on the right tyre, and then the tyre strategy sort of went away from him into the final stage. But I tell you what, let's listen straight, instead of us waffling on, let's listen to what Thierry's got to say.
We were pushing since stage 2 this morning very hard, and yeah, we can feel that we have not the speed to match the Toyotas.
Can you do 16 seconds?
No way. It's very hard to make a difference.
What about
But it's easy to make a mistake.
Always. So Thierry said it there, hasn't he? You know, they all know these stages so well.
Yeah, really difficult if you're chasing positions, but he's not. We've said it. He really isn't chasing positions. He's playing the canny game. Neuville, as we know, second in the championship how many times? 4 times, 5 times he's been second. He knows he's got a real chance this year. He really does. The whole team is behind him. As you've mentioned many times over the course of the weekend, David, the worst thing possible here is...
There's no points.
No points, and that is so easy on these stages. We've talked about tomorrow's stages. They do know them well, but there's still, the slightest lapse in concentration, and you're out.
Absolutely.
Final day.
We've wrecked those stages. We've driven those stages so many times, and those big concrete blocks at the side of the road. There'll be a lot of fans up there. They'll be chucking water on first time up. They will, of course they will. It's Monte Carlo.
Yeah, I know. Snow, if there's a little bit of snow at the side, that gets shoveled on.
It's all part of the event. Looking back to 4th now, obviously Elvin's in 4th, but the gap, if we say 16 seconds is too much, he's 24, something like that. That's probably definitely too much.
It really is, but Elvin Evans again just looks strong out there today, hasn't he? We said it yesterday, he was so unlucky with that puncture because he'd been right up there. He's certainly been battling, I suspect, with Thierry Neuville, maybe even with Calirov and Pera. So Elvin's look good, and it's looking good for Toyota. 3 Toyotas in the top 4 potentially if it ends this way. It's been a strong start to the year so far for Toyota. They'll be happy with that. If it finishes this way tomorrow,
of course they'll
be really happy.
Absolutely, and we referenced it earlier in the car, the fact that they've come off the back of some difficult tarmac rallies last year, struggling in Spain, struggling in Japan. So
Japan was maybe the biggest disappointment, wasn't it? Yeah. They were desperate to win their home event last year, and the Hyundai was strong.
Yeah, and then obviously Oitanak, big struggle. Tricky old day again for M Sport.
Yeah, really tricky day for M Sport, and disappointing because Tanak. The important thing for Tanak is he has got those kilometres again.
Yeah.
It's really important that he gets kilometres in the car with the team. Compromised by the power steering issue. Clearly, it was one of those issues that didn't go completely. It came and it went a little bit. It was a strange one, but it very much compromised his efforts today. Really disappointing. But biggest disappointment, I suppose, for M Sport was this man, Pierre-Louis Loubet.
Last corner of the stages, the very last. I think in the night it was dry, but I think with the sunrise. It's freezing a bit. It was freezing a bit, and I didn't have in the pace notes. It's not the fault of anyone. Just first on the bad place, So
that was it. It was a difficult day for M Sport. It can turn around tomorrow. Who knows what can come with the power stage? We'll all be tuned in to the third and final run over Turini.
Yeah,
forget about Thursday
3
night.
runs across Turini.
But highlight for me today has just been the number of fans that we've seen out, and not just out on the stages, out on the road sections. Out in all around Peugeot-Denier, everywhere. Entrevaux, you couldn't move for people. It's magnificent, isn't it?
It really is, and you know what? A lot of these fans aren't actually going at the stages. They're youngsters, they're families. They're going onto the road sections, they're going to the little towns and villages and just taking in the atmosphere that is the Monte Carlo Rally.
Absolutely, and it's tremendous to see the next generation of young fans coming through. And if you were a young fan, next generation coming through, what would you do next, Carl, if you've been out spectating?
Well, you obviously want to learn how to handle a car properly, David.
Where would you go?
Dirtfish, perhaps.
Absolutely. The only rally school that matters in the world, Dirtfish Rally School in Seattle. You'd go straight there. That's where you go. Is that it? Is there any more to talk about?
Well, I think we can just say that it's going to be again, a proper day tomorrow, proper-ish for a Sunday, 60 kilometres.
Yeah.
We've talked an awful lot about how the drivers...
40 miles.
40 miles tomorrow left. We've talked a lot about how the drivers know it. But the Monte Carlo just has this habit of occasionally just biting them on the bum.
Sting in the tail.
Sting in the tail. The bite on the bum.
Yeah.
Peter Solberg, remember?
These look like boxing gloves. Slightly intimidating.
Boxing gloves are all my little hand puppets. My little hand puppet. Remember Peter Solberg across the Col de Turini a few years ago, got caught out by the shoveling snow, so anything can happen.
It can, absolutely. So if you want to know what happens and watch it as it unfolds, the only place to go is Dirtfish Live Centre. Thank you again to everybody. We are getting some great numbers on there. As we've said all along, get involved, tell us what you want. We're there for you. We'll keep supplying the stuff. So great day today, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
See you then.